All right, Chris, well, a few days on from that great win for you over West Ham, I know you've probably had a chance to look at the video and maybe reflect on the performance. So your thoughts on that win on Saturday?
Well, it's the small margins that you get in games, and I thought we tried in that first half period to break them down. We're up against a West Ham team that are playing a system now that's difficult to break down. They're packing midfield, and consequently, what it does, it gives them a fair amount of possession in the middle of the park, and sometimes it's more difficult to get to grips with it. But sometimes you look at these sort of defining moments in games, and I thought we started the second half better with more intent, and then of course once we get the penalty, which I believe was a penalty, then we were able to really push on it, and you felt I suppose that little bit of relief, and I think we would then go on to try and make the game a little bit more comfortable. And even at 2-1, I thought we had decent chances through Snodgrass and Elmander, and it was certainly nice to see that third goal go in.
An interesting tactical battle, wasn't it? Because they've been playing that false nine formation, although Nolan did occupy a lot of space up front. And of course, you opted for a more traditional 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2, whatever you may call it. Yes. How did that tactical battle play out for you?
Well, as I said, the first half was tough because they packed midfield, and they've done it for, I think, perhaps the last 5 games now, and not only done it, they've done it very, very well. Saw them going to Tottenham and frustrating a very good Tottenham team, and them very much playing on the counter attack, and seeing them winning 3-0. They've had very good results away from home, so it is difficult to break down. You do open yourself up a little bit more when you're playing 2 up front, but if you've got to make sure that you get that service to the players, and we found it a little bit tougher in that first half, and it becomes a little bit cagey. But goals change games, and I think certainly once we got the penalty, we were very much on the ascendancy. They had to play a little bit of a different way, and it's about getting them extra goals, and of course the 2-1 gives us a lot of relief. And it allows us to express ourselves that little bit more, and of course changes the game for West Ham as well.
You've spoken all season about finding the right formulas. The club has spent a lot of money on players, and you've been very honest in saying we just need to find the right formulas for these players. Do you come away from Saturday knowing any more about the correct formulas that may work here?
Well, it's also about the formulas for particular games, because what is a good formation for one game doesn't necessarily mean it's the right formation for another game. But it is getting the opportunities to play players, and of course we play 2 up front with Johan, and of course Gary, with Ricky being injured at this particular moment. So it's good to have a look at that one. We have perhaps played a little bit more of an offensive shape than what we have done last season, with Johan playing in a few of the games. We've also opted for 4-3-3, which has certainly seen us getting more of the ball and getting the ball in real offensive areas. So it is about making sure we get the right formation for the right game, but that's something that we'll continue to do.
And quite a decent amount of time ahead of Newcastle now, but they're off a win over Chelsea and a win away at Spurs, largely thanks to Krul, who was outstanding in that game. So your thoughts as you start to turn your attention to Newcastle?
Well, I was at the game at Tottenham on Sunday, and I thought Newcastle were excellent in that first half period. But Spurs came out in that second half with a real intent, and would be very disappointed that they didn't get the win. Krul was outstanding, I have to say, probably in both halves, and Newcastle would have him to thank for that. But their general level of performance in that first half was good. So they've been a little bit up and down, Newcastle, with what they have got and the quality that they've got. When they've got their full strength team together, then they are a very, very good side. But I think their form has been up and down, and what we've got to make sure and do is hopefully catch them on not one of their better days, and make sure that we have one of our better days.